Hey everyone, Oscar here from Off Map Overland. Today I'm going to be doing the turn that up so you can read it, AJT Designs key fob replacement that works for both the Jeep Gladiator and the Wrangler JL. We're going to be replacing this entire monstrosity with this I don't want to say it's smaller, slightly narrower. What it does is it's taking out this flip thing, and with the way we have the proximity control set up on our Jeep, we don't need this key, and we've only owned the Jeep a day, and this thing is already flipped out in my pocket like 2 or 3 times. It's actually quite annoying. So I knew I wasn't going to like this monster brick. I've always liked the key fob replacements from AJT, so stick around while I put these two together. Now this back panel is where your physical key will go. That key blade sits right in here. So let's put this back together, because I don't need to put the key blade in there yet, because we still have to punch that little pin rivet right there. That little black dot, that's a roll pin that's holding this blade into the fob, and we need to take that out so that this key blade itself will fit in the back of here. But first I'm going to move everything else over. So step 1, let's open this up. Now when you buy these, they come with the extra keys in case you don't have the auto start. If you have auto start, this button is your start button, and you get unlock and lock up here. Whereas if you don't have auto start, it's lock and unlock and then panic. But those extra buttons are in the bag in case you don't have the auto start. So you get both, you don't have to pick. To put the guts on this and then put it back together. But right here we have to put a little transponder out of this key fob into this little hole, and that's what happens. That's what helps you if the battery's dead. You kind of put this right up against the key button and you press start still. You have to move that transponder, otherwise this that function won't work, and if the battery dies, your SOL. Me personally, I'm going to be putting this little Allen key and a couple spare batteries in the glove box, because I have had those batteries die and did get stuck, and it was not pleasant. This little rubber piece goes right here in between the lock and unlock. Kind of gets wedged in right there. I don't know if you can see that little rubber triangle. So what that does is, if you have lock and unlock on the same button, like we do here because we have the auto start, which is the second button down, if that lock and unlock is there, that little rubber nub helps separate them, so you're not accidentally pushing one and it's getting both sides of the button. So again, why that rubber nub is separate is because not everybody has auto start. So right off the bat, everybody complains about these things, because if you look at it, that gap, that factory gap, looks like this thing's broken already. It's terrible. Actually provide this hex key to get the rest of this stuff out of here. So you pop the back off, and you take these 4 screws out. she is. With all the guts, spring for the fob, all this just pops apart. Luckily I'm not trying to force it back in there, but here is the guts we need. Is there one more screw? No, there's not. And that was just the battery piece that was holding it back together. So that's going to end up going right here into this rubber piece. Set that just like that. Get the battery out. That is a big battery. That should last quite a while. But no promises on that. So that sits in the new key fob there. And then the little transponder piece right here underneath the key blade. You see that piece right there? That's what we need to get out. Take this out. Don't lose the pieces in case I have to put this back together. Probably won't, but just in case. So we need to get that thing out of there without damaging it. And that's a bit of a trick. I grabbed needle nose thinking it might help, but it doesn't look to be in a position where I can get that to it. So, don't tell Mom. Use one of her kitchen knives. Yep, there it is. That little guy. That little guy needs to go in this little gap right there. Or the other side, either way works, I'm sure. This looks to be non-tapered, and this piece is slightly tapered. So what we're gonna do is check this other side and make sure that the tapered end isn't special. No, it actually does look like the tapered end is special. So, see, it's got a slight, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a slight bevel to one edge. If you look inside the back plate, on the back plate there's a slight lip, which I'm guessing is what keeps that bevel square. I'm just going to push this in there. Oh, don't drop it. Oh, that's not pushing in. Start pushing it up here. Oh yeah, that's got to be where it goes. That just clicks right in like that, and it steps up a little bit, but I'm sure that's what this gap on this side's for. Alright, so transponder's moved over. We are done with that. Let's put our rubber gasket in, which is right here. And you can probably hear him. That's old Quentin back there. He has just woken up. It is quite early in the morning. So I am going to let him play around just a little bit more. See if we can get this installed finished. Well, at least get this piece in there, and then I'm gonna go get him so that he can run around, be his happy baby self. All right, we're back. We're almost done. As you can probably tell by the ambient noise, Quentin has woken up and he is in his walker, and he is enjoying a delicious waffle for breakfast. So, pardon the background noise. I'm almost finished. While he was getting up and having some fun, I did go take just like a small nail. I actually have the right size roll pin punches, but I actually took that punch pin and punched that little guy out. The right size nail would fit just as well. It's in there really lightly. It's not not something I had to hammer on or anything. Just a couple taps and she came right out. So Really? That's in there tighter than I thought it was. Yeah. While the roll pin's out, we got to figure out how to get the rest of the blade out now. But let's get this back together. So when we left a minute ago, I was trying to figure out how to get this battery to line up in there at this right angle. And I'm thinking if I leave the battery in there, because it says plus side down, set that like that, and then on this side, you can see it's got the spring that would be basically over the top on this one. I'm gonna go over the top, get the battery spring to line up. Pop this piece apart. You're gross, boy. Rolling around burping at people. How nice. You're cute though. Hi, buddy. Maybe it's easier if I don't have the buttons on the top at first too. This is a conundrum. This is a little hard to get in there. Well, let's try that. That looks to be working. So what I've done, see this little hole here? That kind of lines up with this pin. So if you take these two and kind of line that up first, it kind of holds that place. But then you have just enough room to slide this into place. Make sure you get the plus side towards the back of the case. And then we just kind of push a little bit. Push that into place using a screwdriver. And there she lines right up. Okay, so that's got some spring tension to it, so I'm actually just going to keep my hand on there, hold it tight. Put the cover over the top. Still trying to keep pressure on it. Put the other piece over here. Assuming we can squeeze it together, we won't be binding anywhere that the screws won't be able to hold it together. So after that, we just kind of put screws in. You don't want to crank these down because it is just into plastic on the other side, but I am giving them finger tight. Good. 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 Yeah. And then, man, that's a lot nicer. That feels good. Let's get this key blade out. Yep, so I was able to wiggle just a little bit out of there. I put the screwdriver in here and just kind of twist the screwdriver blade. And there she comes. Alright, so that's my key blade. That'll open doors if I ever need it to. AJT puts a little spot right here in the back. Just kind of clicks in right there. You put the cover back over it. Done. Doesn't rattle. Fits real good. Yeah, I dig it. And I think it'll match the truck pretty good. Well, I'm going to go test it, assume it works, but that's how you put an AJT key fob together. And step number 2 is take all these factory parts and save them. Just in case.